What is up, guys? This is Gideon here. We are doing our first video today. So rather than just jumping in and getting into the content, I thought maybe we'd have a little chat. Maybe I'd introduce myself. So I'm a psychotherapist. I've been working in the UK and internationally online for the last 15 years, and I've worked in pretty much kind of most of the fields that you could in this job. My experience covers specifically in some ways gaming as well, and kind of supporting and the therapeutic benefits of gaming, the therapeutic benefits of anything that gives you calm and a sense of peace in life, a way to process the problems that you're going through, and even in some ways to hide, because sometimes we need that, denial and repression. There is a reason our body has these functions. There are times when we need to hide, there are times when we need to process, and that is ultimately going to always be our own choice. But games have, for a long time for me, been a personal way of dealing with things, of both hiding and processing. And a lot of that is done completely unconsciously. We get feelings connected with games. We get that game that we go back to over and over again. We have that game that we've just bought, we've spent money on, and even though we've spent all this time and this money trying to get this game, we feel enormously anxious. Those moments where you buy, the Steam sale comes out and you've got 3 games in your library, and you're kind of, for some reason, you don't want to play any games. You've got all these games waiting. You're kind of game depressed. There is so much stuff. One of the games I've got playing in the background here is probably one of my favourite games of all time. It's probably the game that I most use as my balancer, my anchor. It is a game that, whether I know it or not, it's a game I come back to over and over again. Different character, different game. And it's nice, it's slow, it's good music, it just fits. Maybe I don't know fully, being me, why it fits, but maybe I don't need to. And that's what this channel is about. This channel is all about how games interact with our culture and our race, and how we individually use games, whether we know we are or not, to help us to process and to really, I suppose, anchor us. What games have done for me in my life, I probably couldn't put into words, but maybe you'll hear some of that as we go on. And I want to hear that from you. I want to hear what games meant, because for a long time we've heard that games are bad. They're a place to hide, and they are a thing that we should fear because of the violence and the issues that may come from them, the insidious messages that might be betrayed through them. But I know from a lot of people I know, and a lot of the things I see online, and a lot of the experiences I have in my private practice, games can be an incredible force for good, and that is what I'm going to be doing on my channel. I'm going to kind of focus pretty much solidly on games and gaming culture. I'm a PC gamer, so that's going to be mainly my focus, and I'm going to be reacting to some of the big games coming out. I've got an absolutely amazing lineup for you guys, and I'm not going to put too much stress on it. I'm not going to push people into subscribing or to liking or any of that stuff. Look, if you like what I do, I'm more than happy to continue do it and to be here, because even doing videos is processing in its own way. It's a creative thing. So a little bit of the background. Like I say, I've been working for about 15 years internationally in the UK as a psychotherapist. I do art therapy. I do relationship therapy. I have a private practice that runs currently, which is why I don't use my face. I think it's just easier that way. But again, this is it's a massive thing to be able to find things in life these days, I believe, to help us to process the world that we live in, the unconscious and the conscious, the many shades of colour between what we perceive as happiness and what we perceive as loss and failure. I want to go deep dive into this subject, and I want to look at how different games, different styles of game, different music, different sound effects, different kinetics, how does it feel when you're fighting in a game and it feels good? Like, what does that do to you internally, psychologically? Why is that a better game? And also, maybe a little bit more controversially, what does it feel like when you're forced to play certain types of games that you kind of didn't really sign on for? Something that is portrayed in a certain way, and you kind of get an hour in or 2 hours in, you're kind of committed, and you start to kind of get politics or culture or things that you just feel kind of disharmonious to what you wanted from a game. How does that feel? What does it feel when there are choices made in story that just feel weak or disingenuous or sloppy? What does that feel like to you when you've committed to a game, when you feel a connection to it, when you are invested in it? These are all the things we're going to be talking about. We are going to be going through all of this, and guys, I'm super happy to be sharing this with you. Even if this is just my own voice, I'm very, very excited about this, guys. Honestly, some amazing games that we're going to be playing together, and I'm going to be sharing my my experience and my personality, and I like humour, I like sarcasm, I like to enjoy life, and I think other people like that as well. So it's going to be an interesting road, and maybe you want to come with me. But either way, I hope you enjoy the content, guys, and I can't wait to bring out my first video. So I hope you enjoy this, and I shall see you guys soon. Gideon out.